Hey everybody, it's Tim again. I'm here today to talk about the gaming industry in general. Specifically, WTF is going on with the AAA games industry these days. It seems like they are actively trying to kill themselves in many, many ways. And I find it extremely confusing because many of these companies have supposed lifelong gamers at the helm these days. Phil Spencer is the one that comes to mind. He's supposed to be one of us, and the boneheaded decisions that are being made just blows my mind. Long story short, greed is the problem. So pack it up. I solved it. We can go home and call it a day. We know what the problem is. There is some nuance, though. Yes, late-stage capitalism, ridiculous labor laws, and taxation that is up and down across all the borders of the global industry that we are a part of don't help things. But expectations of the investor class and astronomical returns on said investments are the real problem. The ultra-rich have gotten to the point that if it's not compounding on itself, it's not enough. And that mindset is, or has completely creeped into the large publishers anyway. I won't say the developers are all involved, but the publishers all have that mentality at this point. And because of that, they've become completely risk averse. And when they do take risks and when they do innovate, it's almost always monetized in predatory ways. It's a shame, but they feel like they have to in order to appease the groups that are behind them at this point. Let's go back to Phil Spencer and Microsoft, for example. The recent studio closures. They killed 4, I believe, of Bethesda studios. This is a $1 trillion company that, while praising the skill and the creativity and the sales numbers of some of these studios, also canceled them at the same time. If that's not greed, I don't know what is. Their opponent, in many ways, Sony, had what was possibly one of the few bright spots in the live service industry in the past couple of years with Helldivers 2. And of course, they somehow managed to bungle that as well. One of the best games to come out in multiplayer anyway, certainly as far as live service, one of the best in ages, if ever, and they somehow managed to bungle it. And with some backstepping, they have it looks like started to write the course on that one. But even just their announced plans for all of the live service nonsense. Look at the development hell that the Uncharted multiplayer game's been in forever. Silly. The same as or was it The Last of Us? Either way, one of those, both maybe. Sony is kicking ass on one hand and then tripping on itself the next. It's absolutely insane. Square Enix canceling what was it, $140 million worth of developed games and doubling down on AI. And if I'm correct, they're still very bullish on what was that nonsense art crap. Anyway, all of that. And prioritizing graphics and remakes and action over their bread and butter RPGs is just wild to me. And Rebirth was amazing, but from what I understand, very few people played it, and that's a shame. Ubisoft is another example. They're often one of the boogeymen. I'm not even going to get into the big one, EA, today, but look at Star Wars Outlaws. What was it, $120? $120. Now you can get the $70 version, which I do want to play it. It looks pretty. It looks pretty. I don't know if it'll be fun or not, but it does look good. But yeah, just the pricing on that is entirely due to the ridiculous expectations that the investors have. And then we can even go back. We can go back to Microsoft one more time because, you know, let's just pick on them a little bit. $1 trillion company somehow paired with another $1 trillion company to make the Fallout show, and they somehow, between the two of them, don't have enough faith in it or don't have enough foresight to, one, release it weekly so that there could be water cooler moments for the course of 2 months while everybody hyped it up. Because dropping it all at once was a humongous dropped ball there. Phenomenal show, but they dropped the ball on that. But then, for Microsoft to not be prepared to capitalize on it, how they did not have a massive update for 76, how the Fallout 4 remake, if you even want to call it that, wasn't available the minute episode 1 dropped with huge fanfare, why Starfield wasn't canceled and all of its work moved on to Fallout 5, why Obsidian hasn't already been working on Fallout 5 for the past 2 years. It's wild. It's wild, the decisions that are being made. And there are some bright points out there. It's a 10-year-old open access, early access, I guess, PC title, Project Zomboid. One of the most innovative games I've played in a long time. The nuance and the detail in that game is insane. The graphics aren't there, but that doesn't matter. The gameplay is. And Build 42 is coming soon, and that game is going to blow the doors off of the other survival sims that are out there. Another game, more modern, Pacific Drive. I've been playing it lately on my PS5. Phenomenal game. Innovates. It's Ghostbusters meets Stranger Things with a first-person survival crafting driving sim. It's so hard to describe, but so good. There are games out there, and they're cheap. They're 15, 20, 25 bucks. Get out there. Spend your money on those. Spend your money on those. Stop pre-ordering garbage. Stop pre-ordering it all. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Why would anyone pre-order a digital game? Why? All you're doing is encouraging this nonsense. So yeah, this has been my talk about what's plaguing the games industry, and the short answer at the beginning was right. It's greed. Video over. Pack it up. We solved it. Spend your money on the games that innovate. Spend your money on the indie titles that are made by 1 to 5 man teams. Spend your money on people that care. And we'll start to see a turnaround in the overall industry eventually. Anyway, I've been Tim. Thanks for coming. Good to see y'all.